Hey everybody, this is On to Play Games coming to you with some information about the HyperDrive event and a little bit of a market watch. I want to talk about our shops, the four you see on the screen here, that are going to be hosting events the season 1 out of 2. I guess is the way I'm going to start saying it because they decided to start season 0 as the first season. So last season we had 2 shops. It was Myrtle Beach Games and Synergy Gamers. They are now our premier shops. I want to thank both of them for what they did last season because those 2 shops did something pretty much no shop has done before, and that is collaborate in a way to bring players together from different parts of the state to play this game and not just have it be like a weekly event where you win a pack, like there be something on the line. So, and they did it in a series that were connected to each other. So they worked off of each other, and it was great. It was wonderful to sit down on a Sunday morning earlier than they normally open up the shops. And you know how it is in retail. Sunday morning is supposed to be the day where you kind of come in nice and smooth. And they came in hot and fast and sat down with me. And me just sitting there as a kind of a rep for the players. That's all On the Play Games is. We're not promoters, even though we talk about the events. We're not hosting the events. We don't have anything to do with the judging other than we know some judges. And we don't have anything to do with the prize support or the tournament organizer. That's somebody else does that. Most of the promotions are created and start with someone from Synergy Gamers that knocks that stuff like out of the park. I don't have any of those kind of skills. I'm just a guy that likes to play cards and play around with some imagery every now and then that someone else really has already pulled together to begin with. So with that said, we also have 2 additional shops. Grand Line Games and Final Rounds have joined the group. So now we have 4 events. Last season, it really was a hyperdrive to the planetary qualifiers because we got to get 2 events in before we got to that Greenville qualifier. The little bit that you see here is kind of a hint at what our hyperdrive mats, game mats, should look like. Okay? The difference is we will be replacing with hyperdrive series with either champion or finalist. And both those mats are going to look dynamite. There is no second place. You're your finalist, and then you got a champion. And that's what's up. And so this design that I've played out here, I've kind of brought out the Boba Fett. He had to go, into timeout. He was a little bit too mean on the playground. And, yeah, you're suspended, buddy. So we moved him out, and the new threat comes in, Jango Fett. So we got him out there shooting his blasters. I did something special for you, William. Just going to say, William, good job last season. Going ahead and getting that top 4. Awesome job being a part of Maclunky Games. I know your love for Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is now sitting in your slot. If you've noticed, we redesigned the 6-panel logo for On the Play Games. So you've got Myrtle Beach, you got Grand Lines, you got Final Rounds, you got Synergy Gamers. They are pretty much in order of how they're going to go. The hyperdrive to the planetary qualifiers is now kind of turned into a hyperdrive through the planetary qualifiers, which is kind of cool. I like that. It feels like, we're kind of flowing with the game, and I'm down with that. So the Myrtle Beach Games store will be where everything starts. That will be the season premiere launch. This is going to be where you want to start, people. You miss out on going to Myrtle Beach Games. You miss out on Iron Man points. And we're going to talk about those as an Easter egg. I'm throwing it out there. This truly is something for your casual players. We're going to be making more announcements about that. Make sure you check out our Discord channel for On the Play Games. It's OTPG-On the Play Games. There is a invite on our Facebook page, also linked in our comments below in this video. So go there, find that link. That link doesn't go away. Just go there and check out the sneak peeks that we're doing for the hyperdrive event in our Discord page. But then we go to the turning the corner, and that is at Grand Line Games. They will be the next one up in our series of events. That's where we're going to have our first announcement of additional prizes after the event is finished. So I kind of hate to say this to you, but you got to be there to pick your prize. We're going to give away something for the first and second, but we're also going to give an award to the last place person as well. And there's going to be a lot of last place people, and that's everyone that isn't in the top 8. And we're going to pick a number, and that number wins something. And so we're going to give something to somebody no matter what, even if you didn't get anywhere. So that's how the first event will lead into the second event, turning the corner. Then the final round game shop hosts the flight to the finale. And at that event, we do another updated board at the end of the event. Remember, you got to be there. And we have more prizes to get passed out there. And then we get to the season finale, the HyperDrive seasonal finale at Xynergy Gamers, where we have a full leaderboard done at the end of that season event. Remember, you got to be there. We're going to give it away when the top 8 finishes. All right. And, that's when we're going to give away some of our bigger stuff and just have a little bit more fun with that giveaway. So keep that in mind. We have a seasonal tracking board. So anyway, next thing we want to talk about is really the meat and potatoes of it all. Cards. There are some amazing cards right now that are set one cards, because these cards, don't think of them as like marketing, like stock commodities. They're not. They don't have intrinsic values of their own. They don't have assets that they possess that give them value. They are pieces of art, and they are consumable products, and they depreciate over time. That's just, they're a depreciating asset in most cases. So just play the game and enjoy it. And I'm going to give you some insights right now in our Market Watch 12/18/24 from On the Play Games. So first card I want to talk about, Millennium Falcon, is so good, y'all. So good that if you don't have it in your collection, you should reconsider right now as we take a little closer look at it. I'm going to zoom out for a quick second, show you where it was, closing at around $40-ish back in May. That's where its peak was. It had a second peak here when Old Han Yellow kind of made its deal and showed you where DJ could really take it. Maybe even before it was printed, and the hype about DJ before it was released, I should say, there was a spike. But look where it is now. It's the time to buy. They're as cheap as they're going to get. There's a lot less floor than there is ceiling. So this card can climb a lot more than it could go down. It could go back right up into a $30, $40 card very easily. I do not see this card going into a $10 drop unless they come out with a 3 drop that does what this does 3 points of damage and can do it the turn it comes into play. And it also fits inside with the new Han colors. It was the first of the original 2 I was going to do this video on before I realized just how many cards I really need to talk about. The next card was the other card. It's Avenger. And Avenger, also an insanely good card. It is going to be the 2 to 3 of in every single control deck, and it is a powerhouse. And if you look at the 1 year, as I zoom out, you'll see that it was sitting at around, let's see, what does that say? $31, $32, something like that. 40 maybe. And now look where we are now. We're down to $13, $14. I'm going to zoom back in. We got, $15. And it was at, in April, $43. So an amazing deal. Definitely on the downside of all of it. It's a third of the cost. Most of these cards you're going to see are a third of what they were. Okay. And about a half of what they were mid-season of the planetary qualifiers last year. Next card, Red 3. This card is a staple in any deck that, basically plays heroic cards. So a whole half of the card pool, this card is Anthem on a Stick. And this is a very aggressive card. It is perfectly placed in aggression, and it fits in great. But look where it was, $13, $14. I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit, pop it up, right? And now look at it. Now we're down to, again, close to a third. Yeah, buy yourself a play set of these if you don't already have them. So until we find something else as an Anthem on a stick that's that price, that cost, that part of the curve, that's what's important about this card. And the Anthem effect, this card's going to be good through set 4. Let me put a pilot on that and make it really big. Next one, K2SO, another staple. I mean, it's not a space unit, so I don't know how it's going to do in set 4. But right now, this card is played in everything that's heroic. It's just straight up great. When I was playing Young Han Blue, this card, Force Throw and Pillages, was how I controlled my control player's hand. And then if I didn't have to control your hand, I would just come straight at your base with it. And so it works out perfectly. So another great pickup right now at like $5 for a playset. I mean, come on. Ewing Reinforcement. I'm going to zoom it in a little bit here. And April, we were looking at, I'll scroll down just a touch, $11 to $17. I remember them being like $15. So that makes sense. All right. And then when we come back out, we're looking at, right now, you can get them for $3, $4. This is a staple 3 of in sideboards. This is a staple 3 of in a Han Green deck. This is a staple 3 of in any Heroic Command. So just keep that in mind. It's super cheap right now. And what you could pay for one, almost every card I bring here, it's like you might as well go ahead and make it the meme of the video. Now there are 3 of them. That's what we should call it. Now there are 3 of them. So anyway, this card is a third of the price of what it was. Now you can get 3 of them for the price of 1. So another great card. For a cause I believe in. I mean, what can I say? This card was $8-9, some close to 10. Did I see a 14 in there? There were some wild sales, prices, and people were. This is where they sold. Now, I don't know how much that was shipping, but these were sales that happened between these ranges, okay? And now you've had 9 sale. There's been 9 sold in the last 2 days, so people are buying them. It is a great card. Anything that lets you stack the top of your deck the way you want it, or lets you dig for a card that you're looking for while also doing big chunks of damage to your opponent's base, at that point in the curve, is a card that is excellent. And when you can get 3 of the cards for 87 cents, that is a heck of a deal. I'm trying to look for something here real quick. Normal, where's our medium? List medium, $2. You get 3 of these for $6, where they were $7.84, $8.80, $11. But I spent a lot of money to get into this game, and I am happy that there's these cards going down in price. I'm happy for somebody else who gets to play. Let's put it that way. And that's what this whole thing about, all the way from the HyperDrive event stuff we were talking about earlier, is getting people to play. And speaking of really great deals, what? Let me rephrase that. What? This thing is $4? Our list median is $4. Our list median is a $4 card here, folks. Okay? That is insane. This is the best space unit at 6. You can't name a space unit that's better than this one. I challenge you in the comments to name a better 6-drop, and if you say Ruthless Raider, I'm only going to say yes in conjunction with Triple Dark Raid, with me tapped out. This card's better. So the Vets Fire Spray being at $4, get them if you don't got them, because look down here. They were $6 and $7 and $8. Some people were buying them at 10. This is on the year. And then they went up to 5, came back up to around 5, and now they're down to 243, and then you throw some tax on there. Your list median is $4. It's not. There's a $12 sale right there, so it still fits into the now there are 3 of them. motif. So great card. And, think about this. We've got a set that's coming out with nothing but like all these pilots. This is the card. This is the card that is going to just explode. Maybe this and the other Fett's Fire Spray, because both of them sit on each side of the Boba Fett flip turn. So, yeah, great card. And speaking of cards that are going to be great in set 2, let's look at Aggression. Aggression has always been a go-to card for double aggression decks, but never was quite good enough to pay the extra off aspect penalty, where Cunning and Vigilance have been. Vigilance still is, and Cunning. We're going to talk about Cunning in a second here, but the fact that you could defeat 2 things, potentially an upgraded leader or a piloting leader, I should say, and maybe even knock 2 of them off. Like, let's say your opponent does the thing and puts out the new Millennium Falcon, puts the Chewbacca on it, and puts the new Han Solo on it. I mean, it's like suited up, protected, right? It's Voltron. Well, Aggression kills off both the upgraded pilots, and then at the end you do the 4 points of damage to the Millennium Falcon and kill it. And you just kill 3 things for 1 card. And yeah, just look out for it. It's there. It's waiting to happen. And it might even be a sideboard card that's worth playing out of aspect just to go against pilot decks like this new Han Solo. Because I will tell you this, that new Han Solo, he's got the same potential to be as broken as Boba Fett was. Even just upgrades that are one-ofs, that are cost 1. Heroic, not sacrifice, but heroic resolve. Cost 1, gives +1/+1. Later on, I can get something overwhelm and make it do 4 points of damage. And that's after I flip over Han and then do that? I mean, man, it's got to be wild. You're going to want to have an Aggression. Let's put it that way. Or you're going to want to have this card. This card, Cunning, it's down another couple bucks from last week. This is shipping included, less than $20. But again, I mean, you got to look at a card that at its peak, and it peaked differently than almost any other card. Back in April, when all these cards were peaking, and Vaders were peaking, and Luke Skywalkers were peaking, and everything else was peaking back here. Vigilance was peaking. This card, it peaked a little bit, but it didn't go crazy. And then Boba Fett. That's all I'm going to say. And then Boba Fett. But now, you can buy 3 of them. Now there are 3 of them. So where there was 1, there are now 3. So there's your cards that you want to take a look at. That's the Market Watch. Thanks for watching to the end if you did. Please check out all the channels and links and everything below. They're going to be in the comments section, and we're going to have a really great time for the community at this HyperDrive event series. You definitely want to check them all out. Again, there they are on your screen. There'll be more information, and there is already a flyer out that has all the information and the QR codes. And there's your Easter egg of what we're going to try to make these mats look like. So this is OTPG giving you a little heads up. I can't say enough about any of these shops. They're definitely worth checking out, and definitely worth coming to their events. And always remember, you make all 4 of these events and you get those Iron Man points. We're going to announce that system here soon. It'll be announced first on the Discord channel for On the Play Games. So you're not there. You're not getting the first information. You're getting it late. So definitely come join us. Until next time, goodbye, y'all.